What a breaking news! Prince Harry's bag sparks frenzy sold out in 60 seconds. When Prince Harry landed in the United Kingdom today, the world watched with anticipation, curiosity, and excitement. Yet, beyond the symbolism of his return, beyond the discussions about family and reconciliation, there was an extraordinary moment that unfolded almost instantly. A moment that reminded everyone of the unmatched global influence Harry continues to command. It was not just his presence that drew attention, but the effortless elegance of the medium-sized clipper bag in BioVeg Scotchgrain and smooth calfskin, in the distinguished tones of brown and cognac. That very bag, priced at €1,245, disappeared from shelves in what can only be described as an unprecedented retail phenomenon, sold out in 60 seconds. The sight of the Duke of Sussex walking confidently across the tarmac with the bag in hand was enough to ignite a fashion storm. Within moments, photos circulated across social media, magazines scrambled to highlight the look, and consumers rushed online to buy what was instantly dubbed the Prince Harry bag. Retailers struggled to keep up with the demand, their websites crashing under the weight of royal-inspired frenzy. This was no ordinary accessory. It was now history. And at the centre of it all was a man who, whether through intention or inevitability, sets trends the way monarchs once set laws. Prince Harry's effortless style struck the perfect balance between modern practicality and classic refinement. His choice of the brown and cognac tones symbolized maturity, warmth, and grounded sophistication, resonating with a public yearning for authenticity. It was a bag for the traveller, the worker, the parent, and the dreamer, all embodied in a single accessory carried by a prince whose life has been one of duty, challenge, and reinvention. This was not just a leather piece. It became a statement of resilience and modern royalty. The frenzy surrounding the bag highlights something larger: Harry's continued magnetism. Despite years of tabloid scrutiny, political debates, and royal rifts, his influence remains undeniable. One photograph of him casually stepping off a plane was enough to trigger a retail storm across continents. Luxury analysts have compared the moment to the most legendary product launches in history, noting that no marketing campaign could have orchestrated such instantaneous demand. What Harry achieved in those 60 seconds is the type of influence that brands dream of, but few individuals can inspire. Social media platforms exploded with commentary. Admirers declared that they had never rushed so quickly to buy an item in their lives. Others noted how the bag perfectly embodied Harry's personality: strong yet soft, structured yet flexible, luxurious yet grounded. A flood of messages praised his taste, with hashtags like #Harry'sBag, #SoldOut in 60 seconds, and #RoyalReconciliation trending globally within minutes. From New York to Nairobi, Paris to Perth, fashion lovers united in admiration of Harry's impact. But the sold-out frenzy is not just about a bag. It is about what Harry represents at this moment in history. His return to the UK has come at a time when the British public is openly acknowledging the need for reconciliation within the royal family. The emotional undercurrents of unity, healing, and togetherness were mirrored in this collective act of admiration. By buying the bag he carried, millions symbolically aligned themselves with Harry, declaring not only their love for his style but their hope for his renewed place in the royal narrative. The people's voice was clear. It is time to embrace Harry again. The bag's disappearance from the market in 0 minutes after his arrival became a headline in itself. Fashion experts marveled at the velocity of sales, calling it unprecedented and a once-in-a-generation retail phenomenon. Economists even pointed out that Harry had, in a single moment, given the fashion industry a jolt of vitality, proving that celebrity endorsements pale in comparison to the authentic influence of a royal who is loved for who he is, not just for his title. Observers also noted the symbolic placement of the bag itself. As Harry carried it firmly yet casually at his side, it seemed to represent the weight of his journey, his travels across continents, his work as a humanitarian, and his ongoing quest to balance freedom with heritage. It was more than luggage. It was a metaphor for the path he carries with him, a reminder that wherever he goes, the world follows. And when the world saw that bag today, they reached out for a piece of that story. The sold-out status of the bag has already led to resellers offering it at astronomical prices. Online marketplaces are buzzing with listings, some doubling or even tripling the original cost. Buyers argue that it is not just a bag, but a collectible, a piece of history tied directly to Prince Harry's legacy. In a culture obsessed with limited editions, nothing could be more exclusive than owning the very same bag that vanished within 60 seconds because of a prince's arrival. For the British public, the bag story also reignited a deeper conversation about identity and belonging. Newspapers across the UK ran headlines celebrating the frenzy, but many editorials went further, suggesting that this moment is emblematic of a larger shift. The bag is sold out, but what the people truly want is reconciliation, one columnist wrote. The speed with which Harry's influence reignited shows that there is no doubt. Britain still loves him, and it is time for the royal family to reflect that love. Indeed, the sense of reconciliation hung thick in the air. People saw in the sold-out moment not just admiration for Harry's style, but also a metaphor for healing old wounds. It was as if the collective act of buying the bag was an act of voting with wallets and hearts, a declaration that the public is ready for unity. Many noted how extraordinary it was that something as simple as a travel bag could carry such profound symbolic weight. Yet with Harry, nothing is simple. His story has always been about more than himself. It is about the resonance he carries for millions. Even within the world of luxury fashion, Harry's choice made waves. The bag itself, a marriage of BioVeg Scotchgrain and smooth calfskin, spoke to sustainability and tradition coexisting in harmony. This blend of ethical innovation and classic luxury perfectly mirrored Harry's own mission-driven life, committed to modern causes while still rooted in history. For those who managed to secure the bag before it sold out, it was not just about owning leather and stitching. It was about aligning themselves with values of responsibility, class, and global relevance. International headlines captured the magnitude of the event. In France, magazines hailed Harry as the prince who sells out without trying. In the United States, analysts compared the phenomenon to celebrity-driven trends, but admitted that Harry's impact was more authentic, more enduring. In Africa, commentators praised his ability to inspire global unity through something as universal as style, reminding readers that Harry's presence has always carried an international heartbeat. Perhaps most telling was the reaction within the United Kingdom. For years, debates around Harry's place in the royal fold have been fraught with tension, but today's frenzy broke through those barriers. Brits admitted openly that it is time for reconciliation. The bag, sold out in record time, became the unlikely yet undeniable bridge for conversations about healing. People pointed out that if Harry can still inspire such instantaneous love and action, then surely the door must remain open for him to inspire unity within the family that has defined him. Harry's arrival today will be remembered not only for the sold-out bag, but for the deeper symbolism it carried. Fashion, after all, is never just about fabric and design. It is about identity, aspiration, and belonging. In carrying that bag, Harry carried a message that he is still connected to Britain, to his heritage, and to the millions who continue to admire him. And in selling out that bag, the public responded with a message of their own, that they are ready to embrace him, now more than ever. The story of the bag may seem like a fleeting headline, but in truth, it is far from trivial. It represents the way modern culture interacts with royalty, not through pomp or rigid ceremony, but through moments of relatability, accessibility, and shared admiration. Harry's bag was not a crown or a scepter, yet it commanded global attention in the same way symbols of monarchy once did. That is the essence of modern royalty, relevance born not of duty alone, but of resonance with the people. As the day drew on, and reports continued to flood in about the bag's sold-out status, the narrative solidified. The Duke of Sussex had not just landed, he had arrived in full force, commanding attention, admiration, and affection in equal measure. In one hand he carried a bag, but in the other, unseen, he carried the hopes of reconciliation, the weight of public love, and the undeniable truth that his influence remains unshakable. For those who managed to secure the bag, it will forever be a reminder of this moment, a piece of history linked to the day Harry reminded the world that he is, in every sense, unforgettable. For those who missed out, the frenzy itself tells a story of speed, passion, and collective admiration that no product launch or fashion campaign could ever replicate. Ultimately, the message of today is clear. Prince Harry's bag sold out in 60 seconds, but his influence, that will never sell out. It endures, it inspires, and it calls out across borders and generations. And as Britain openly admits the need for reconciliation, one cannot help but wonder if this bag will be remembered not only as a fashion icon, but as the symbol of a turning point, when style, substance, and reconciliation met in one unforgettable moment. To all my curious Sussex family, thank you all for watching, and do not forget to subscribe, like, and put a comment. Bye bye, see you then in our next episode.